start their season a couple of best of threes too late.
Well, we won't have to wait long to find out. Papa Smithy picks and bans for game number 1 between Afreeca and Jinair. Afreeca.
Where does Graves fall in this draft? I just can't see Trace, or what is now very clearly a flex pick Graves, get through too many times. And Quinn also, notably Jinair last time out, top lane Quinn with Ignite in their last game on the Rift. Love to see that. You know, the first time we dropped that summoner, somewhere Flame was sitting in the back going, yes, yes, Ignite on the top lane.
That's true. I mean, it was fun to watch, and it looks like Afreeca Freaks were watching too, because they're banding out Trace's powerful picks from the last series.
What a world it is, 2016. Top laners, powerful picks, Quinn and Graves.
I know, right? It's interesting. It's cool stuff.
It's great to see. The Mickey bans, this is the story. Every time we see the Afreeca Freaks play, these are the bans. You don't even need to look at them. They were always Zed, Twisted Fate, Thresh.
Pretty much.
That's all their bans.
I mean, Mickey's been the star of this team since day one, and although Songyun has looked okay, you know, Ixu has been okay. Lyra, probably the second best player on the team, but you really do need to worry about Mickey more than anything. And there's a Gangplank ban who's not wanting to deal with that.
On Casper Cup, the player stepping up the most was Songyun, actually. On Kalista specifically was really impressive in that tournament. The biggest question mark to me is, and to some degree always has been, Ixu. Doesn't feel like this guy has made the transformation that Trace has. Often plays tanks in the top. He was known for his Hecarim, obviously way out of the meta at this point, was just playing Maokai most of the time when we saw him last week. I feel like his champion pool is one of the biggest issues for Afreeca Freaks in the picks and bans. And look, maybe Songyun will actually get the Thresh. So Snowflower might actually get the Thresh, because
maybe
no Thresh plan this time.
It's true. So I wonder what they're going to first pick. Do you think something like a Lissandra might be good for Ixu, just to get him on that power pick? Looks like maybe that is the case. Wow.
Does add a flex nature to the draft. There's a pseudo assassin, so Mickey could theoretically take it in the mid, but I find that very surprising.
Lissandra seems like the natural first pick. It does leave a lot of junglers open. Alistar, Rek'Sai seem like pretty logical picks for Jinair at this point.
Liked the Elise, of course. Wings Elise was what really put Bengi in the trash can when he was playing Evelynn.
True, true. Yeah, they do leave that open. But, you know, it's all about, I guess, what they think Lyra is going to be better on, you know?
And in general, it's all about shutting down Mickey. 3 mid lane bans, they have the last pick. Of course, they'll wait and see what is being drafted and establish that's going to be a top lane Lissandra, so they have the counter pick for Mickey. They needed to be able to diversify their strategy around win conditions that aren't get Mickey ahead, and unfortunately Afreeca Freaks haven't shown that just yet.
Yeah. Oh, Kindred would be cool.
Kindred certainly has been, I mean, there's been fits of effectiveness, specifically Score looked excellent playing that for KT Rolster, but the mid lane Quinn yesterday, so the mid lane Kindred yesterday especially, left a lot to be desired. I'd love to see the Kindred locked in. I thought Songyun looked really good, on the Kalista. Now I'm getting confused. Kalista locked in, so I really think Songyun looked great on that pick, and good to see it locked in. And Lyra on an old favorite, the return of the Lee Sin from Lyra.
Yep. Lee Sin will never leave Korean Professional League of Legends. It doesn't matter how hard he gets nerfed, somebody will always play him here.
Songyun on Kalista, so expectations now I can raise them a bit. Was really impressed with his Kalista in the Casper Cup. Victor makes it this deep into the draft. I think it's just wave clear time, and they're waiting to see. They're willing to blind pick Victor, which is a bit of a risk, of course, with the assassin playstyle of Mickey, but what's really left on the board? They're inviting the LeBlanc pick. That has been the fallback for Mickey when these other assassins have been banned.
Yeah, you're probably right. Took a long time to lock those in.
Would just mix it up, but seems likely. Let's go for the safe Victor. It's a KT Rolster special. Fly's been doing this all season. Blind pick that Victor. Not too much you're worried about, but...
Well, it'd be pretty cool to see Blitzcrank, but I'd be very surprised if that actually does get locked in. I mean, these guys, Songyun and Snowflower, are a famous streaming duo. You can bet there's a lot of Blitzcrank in solo queue, but I don't know about pro play. Morgana would still be a little bit surprising, but not as surprising.
Range support goes really well with Kalista. Of course, can proc the W from range and get more trade damage in. I'm more interested about the mid lane. Where's Mickey gonna go? Was mousing over the Yasuo. Still haven't seen the Yasuo this season, sadly. Always a fun, flashy champion, but...
No, maybe this Ezreal. And Lux. Okay, so it could be a support Lissandra, too.
Support Lissandra. Not the flex pick you would expect.
Yeah, they've got to be changing something.
Oh, they
here.
certainly will be.
Yeah, okay, there we go. I mean, we've seen support Lissandra already, so I'm not completely insane when I say that.
We are seeing mid lane Ezreal. Okay, so big factor here is going to be the Iceborne Gauntlet timing.
Yeah.
Very easy for Kuzan to clear waves when he gets the death range, has 1,000 gold, upgrade that Hex, so he's going to have wave control. One of the reasons why Ezreal hasn't been a staple mid lane pick is easy to push him in, but Iceborne Gauntlet is definitely the cornerstone of Ezreal's build right now. Pick that up, clear the waves, match the wave clear, and then Ezreal, late game Ezreal, we know how strong blue Ezreal is right now.
Yeah, he's hugely strong. I actually kind of like the Malphite. I like the big diving front line that Jinair was putting together and leaving Lucian and Victor to kind of clean up, but it will be the Maokai for Trace instead. So 2015, Trace is back apparently.
Oh yeah, it is the return of 2015 Trace. We were hoping for some lane dominance with the last pick, but just goes for the safer choice.
Yep.
Pretty balanced draft on both sides.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like Jinair's just not taking any chances with this one. They've got still a very strong front line, a lot of damage later on with Lucian and Victor.
Poke's good for Afreeca with the Ezreal. Turret taking is double AD, but Kalista obviously not ideal in the double AD sense. It's going to be all about whether Miggy can get uninterrupted farm, get that Iceborne Gauntlet, and match the wave clear from Victor. But otherwise, just really balanced draft. Honestly, whichever team gets ahead should snowball pretty hard this game.
Yeah, we'll see. And if there's one thing that the Afreeca Freaks have always been able to do, it's make flashy plays in the early game. So this may be kind of their plan, I guess, but we'll see.
Bit predictable.
I don't know. They've been looking so off this season already. They really are going to have to play well to convince me anyway that they've got a chance of going anywhere this season.
And uniquely, the playmaking can't really be around Mickey's lane. You don't really want to gank 3-6 Ezreal, so expect more attention around Ixu and maybe the bottom lane. Remember, Snowflower on Thresh does unlock the upper potential of Snowflower.
Probably. Well, Jinair looking to add another win to their already pretty successful season. We'll see if they can do it. Time to get in the game and find out.
Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while
All right. Well, welcome to Summoner's Rift. Large plateau, apparently. And Afreeca Freaks versus Jinair. Game number 1.
Not a meeting of multiple strategies. Often we've seen, say, Poke versus Engage or Siege versus team fighting. Both these team comps do similar things. Only obvious advantage is in the mid lane wave clear. Early is definitely going to be in the purview of Victor, but expect to see Snowflower do his usual thing on Thresh as we get a pause to start things off.
Apparently so. All right, issue on the Jinair side of things. Hopefully it doesn't take us too long to resolve.
No real super late game scaling. I guess Blue Ezreal is probably the closest to a true late game hyper threat. We've already seen from Crown that you can do a lot of damage on the Victor though, so Kuzan has that.
Yep.
Otherwise, the balanced draft is just different. It's been atypical. We've seen a lot of different win conditions coming against this season as Mickey.
Mickey's impatient. He wants to get bloodthirsty. Even though he's a mid laner, you can do it too in the mid lane, I suppose.
Not sure how much bloodthirstiness Flash Exhaust Ezreal will pull off.
Not a lot. Well, not a lot early on. Looks like we're going back in the game now, so small issue dealt with. No bug splats this time.
Hey, it's early days yet.
That's true. We got plenty of time for bug splat.
My kingdom for a bug splat.
Really?
They're
You'd
fun.
give your whole kingdom away for a bug splat?
It's not that impressive, to be
I
honest.
would not give my kingdom away for that.
Well, you have a kingdom built on many years of top-level Korean casting. My kingdom,
I suppose.
just kind of rickety, putting it together still.
You knew better than bug splat, though. Maybe like a vintage Game Boy.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty cool.
Pocket or regular?
Oh, regular, absolutely. The brick, man.
That is a offensive weapon at this stage.
That's true. It's a danger to AA batteries everywhere.
Absolutely. 6, was it?
Yeah, 4. 4. The Game Gear was 6. And the Game Gear actually destroyed AA's way faster.
Rest in peace, Game Gear.
Yeah. It's right there with Sega Nomad.
What a console.
Yeah.
I've been trying to track one down for a long time.
eBay.
Well, lane swap is started up by the Freaks. You just see Sungyun and Snowflower on the top side of the map. Not going to be called, so successful lane swap from Afreeca.
Yeah, I guess so. But what are they going to be able to turn it into? Do you think we're just going to see the turrets traded and then traded again, and the mid lane waiting game begins?
That is the story that's been the way, but if that was the plan, then you'd expect Lissandra to be grouped with Lyra early to start powering through these camps. You expect them to clear everything. They're on the weak side right now. You can see Che's going to go check, so let's see how the timings are.
And he's certainly going to hear Lissandra long before he sees her, you'd think. But nope, that's not how League of Legends works, guys.
That has been the story.
We'll see him anyway.
Starting on your weak side, pushing through those camps, and then just as the minions break on the turret, starting the fast push.
Well, small sample size, but Winged having a pretty successful season on this Rek'Sai so far. 100% win rate, 9 KDA, which is not bad at all.
In a world where Vision's gone down, Tremor Sense just gets that much more important. And although Rek'Sai late game team fights, not really much chop, just a true tank. Less of a frontliner than, say, Maokai, who we see on your screen.
Right.
Still, the early game Vision play is what can really separate the Rek'Sais and why she's such a valued pick.
True. And blue buff will be taken. Looks like they're going to send Che up to help. Trace, which is about what you'd expect. That, you know, no wonder that's like a charred Maokai skin. He's carrying around like an open thing of flaming charcoal behind his head. It's made of wood.
They pull this off. Remember, Lucian's solo farming alone, so he's actually farming 3 lanes over 2, but with this many members rotating around top should be a hard defense for Jin Air.
This is going to get interesting here. Ixu trying to come from the side. And a big 4-man dive. Winged ready to help out. It's going to be a 4v3, and Che and Trace are right there. Afreeca looks unsure. They're going to just use the W to keep Trace in place. Yeah, deciding to cancel that one. Probably a good idea.
Good pathing from Winged, though. He waited in the wings, wanted to see if the dive would come through, was there to dissuade it. As we mentioned, Pilot's the big benefactor. Solo farm, frozen lane, down bottom.
Yeah, not bad at all. And already, I mean, we see the Afreeca Freaks trying to bring that early aggression that we kind of suspected we were going to see, but Jin Air, very, very ready for that.
We're slow on the ready. This is one of the reasons why lane swaps weren't as prevalent a strategy in Korea as they were in the EU and NALCS. Obviously, by Worlds time, everyone was going for the fast push, but it was all about the defense in Korea, and that's why we saw less of those turrets coming down.
Oh, wow. Hook nearly connected. That was really close. That was like
so perfect.
In the model almost, yeah.
Big model coming through from the Maokai, of course.
Guess so.
Sandra finally goes bot, trying to stop the freeze. Not really having too much fun, is Ixu?
I would think so. Only 5 CS so far. He's not been able to get a whole lot done.
Lucian, big benefactor, has been the experience. Been getting solo experience most of the time.
Oh, jeez. Poor Ixu. He can't even get close, man.
He's been frozen this whole time. Very well cultivated minion wave from
Which
Pilot.
you'd think would be good for Lissandra. She likes when things are frozen, but not in this case. In this case, it's really bad.
Very obvious game coming through for the Afreeca. Lyra standing in a ward, so...
Snowflower's just showing up. He's just like, yo, I'm here.
You're also ganking for a level 5 Ezreal, so already you probably made some mistakes.
Hey, he's got exhaust.
That's right.
Yeah.
Arcane Shift in exhaust.
That's right. No, flash exhaust, and then save the Arcane Shift in case you need to dive under turret to finish the
for that
kill.
little bit of damage.
That's right.
Or not.
Priorities, man.
Sometimes I wonder about Afreeca's priorities. The Katie Rolster series that they kicked off the season with, they had the early game advantage in spades and just couldn't push out in the early game. A bit similar to what Samsung did in the previous game. Knowing their win conditions and acting on them was once a staple of Afreeca, but so far has eluded them this season.
Yeah, pretty much.
Happy wave clear time.
Yeah, Sam should be able to stay pretty easy, even in CS.
Don't you dare miss that. And a minion. We'll never know.
I don't know. We'll just assume he got it.
Yep. Benefit of the doubt. Top
right.
pro player.
Kuzan wouldn't have missed that cannon minion.
Would GBM have missed it?
No, of course not.
There you go.
You know what GBM was always missing? One of those bow ties where you can like flick it and it just spins around.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that's like a trick bow tie. It's not, you know, really a bow tie at all because you can't tie something like that.
Not
But it
very
would have been cool.
Not very sportsmanlike.
It would have been cool.
The trick bow tie. That's like the loaded boot in a wrestling match.
What?
You know, you load your boot.
With what? What do you load it with?
It's never really clear on that, but regardless, you're making it just sturdier so that if you get hit by it, apparently you're knocked out for a long time.
Like you put like
Rocks in it, I
cement
guess.
in
That
it?
doesn't really make sense. I guess
Sounds really uncomfortable.
steel tipped, let's say that.
You'd think someone would check those things.
Well, what can I say? Wrestling refs not always the most reliable at catching infractions.
I guess so. Whoa. Ixu getting caught there too. Pilot backing off just in time to avoid that death sentence. Wing finds Lyra. It's a fight over the pink board. Trace comes down to try to help out. Lyra doing a lot of damage to Wing there, and Songyun poking away at Trace too.
Actually, Mickey trying to help with the cross map ultimate. Didn't find it though. No kill observed. And more free time for Kuzan.
Yeah, he's going to be able to catch up in CS.
This is the part where he has the E hex score upgrade, so
Whoa, big pulverized. Che finds, help Pilot find first blood. Snowflower lucky to escape with his life. That was very clean from Che and Pilot. We only caught that right as it was beginning, but it looked to me like Ixu maybe stuck around lane a little bit too long with a little bit too low health.
as far as I can infer, Pilot hit 6, Cullen did most of the work, and then Flash came in aggressively from Che. They pick up the first blood.
Yeah, very nice. Good move for Jin Air already, and against a team that's wanting to be aggressive in the early game, if you can get those early kills instead, it's a pretty good start.
Now we see pushed in the bottom lane. We already mentioned that Victor will have an easy time pushing in mid. A lot of pushed in lanes theoretically could be big plays from Lyra, but Lyra's the only real benefactor. Otherwise, all the pressure advantage is with Jin Air.
Pretty much. Che right away buying that Sightstone, which is, I think, what you pretty much have to do all the time on support right now.
I don't know about that, actually. I might
No?
disagree. That was definitely the story last season, but with Sightstone going down to 3 wards, the wards timing out earlier.
Yeah, but your other option is to have only your Trinket.
No, it's to get those boots of roaming and go gank some fools.
I suppose.
Come on, Doa, you're the bloodthirsty support.
We haven't seen a lot of that, though.
How bloodthirsty is the Sightstone exactly?
Well, wards produce more kills than any other item in the game, so it's the most bloodthirsty item to buy.
Get those Swifties, get in the other lanes. That's what I want to see.
I just see them coming, and then they have no chance. I've set the trap.
Ixu, not really enjoying the lane, not enjoying the Krugs either.
I guess not. Well, the ancient Krug will live his life alone. Or was that the smaller Krug? I couldn't tell.
That was the big Krug.
Okay, that's what I thought. The ancient Krug is what it's called.
Really?
Clearly very old.
Some play-by-play knowledge right there.
That's right. And it'll be an early dragon for Jin Air. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Isn't it nice that all this play makes sense? Jin Air, pressure advantage in lanes. They pressure both mid and bottom.
Yeah.
Easiest dragon of their lives.
Yeah, no kidding.
Snowflower's gonna watch it fall down.
Steal with the death sentence. Oh, that was closer than I thought it would be, but Smite is going to secure that one pretty easily.
Smite does a little bit more damage than Death Sentence.
Depends on the item build, but yeah, usually.
He's catching all those souls as well,
Usually.
pumping up the AP.
Yep.
He is maxing it first, so outside chance.
Interesting. Why not?
Well, will we see Big Fate's call play?
Well, I mean, they want to get something done now that they've got this 2v2, I suppose.
They've had no lane control and then very conspicuously pushing in hard. Maybe a tip off the Jin Air.
Yeah. Maybe, just maybe, Lyra was close by.
And Ixu's not going to have a lot of fun. I was going to touch on this. 21 CS behind. Already the Spectre's Cowl for Trace.
Yeah.
Already a difficult lane. There's going to be a tipping point, Spirit Visage, or whatever magic resist item comes in that Maokai's going to be living forever. And these trades, they're just going to go. The base damages for Maokai are good.
Yeah, I mean, Ixu's not going to be able to fight toe-to-toe with Trace right now.
Or potentially ever. It's only going to get tankier.
Yeah, all across the board, things going very well for Jin Air. Nice ward. They do spot Lyra coming through the jungle. Kuzan's starting to pull ahead a little bit in the mid lane. Pilot staying even at least with Songyun, but after that kill, he'll be a little bit ahead too.
That's what wave control mid gives you. You saw there's already a ward onto the Raptors. The thing about Victor versus Ezreal is that Victor decides at every point pre-Iceborne Gauntlet whether to push the wave or to freeze it under his turret, depending on his priorities or the team's priorities. So
Yeah.
Kuzan and Jin Air making all the decisions is, wow, Trace, 2 levels up, low mana on Ixu. He's even considering a dive.
Yeah, I wonder if he could do some dirty farming maybe, do you think?
Just thinking
Depends.
about it. It's
Without those wards, you don't really know where Lyra is.
To be fair though, look at the defensive vision they have. A spot on the
Not bad.
Gromp. He's got good warding. Obviously not complete, but good enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can. Guess you can get aggressive against Ixu. Not quite dive-worthy, I guess. But
Soften him up.
yeah, waiting for Wing to come in. Meanwhile, Lyra just punching the Rift coward to death.
That's what he deserves. He's a coward.
Yep. What?
If the League of Legends taught us anything, cowards are to be executed.
I guess so. And then they'll give you vision for a little while.
Yeah. That's how that works.
Like, show me everything. How does it do it? Does like the crab have just like a little camera and just transmit Some
Maybe-
footage over to the other team.
Maybe it's a Firefly-like thing, like dies and lights up. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, Trace not really in any danger here. Lyra having to come up to just help Ixu push his lane a little bit.
You know what's bad when Lissandra needs help pushing her lane?
That's
The one thing
pretty
Lissandra
crazy.
should always be able to do.
Yeah. Trace maintaining a really good CS right now.
Being annoying, trying to stop the backs, but looks like Ixu will get the back. Probably have to teleport back top though. The pressure from Trace. Honestly, the big loser early game has been Ixu. So far behind in levels and gold.
Yep. And Janair grouping up mid. They're going to be able to take this turret, it looks like. Maybe they don't quite have enough minions. They could have maybe tried it, but that would have been way too risky.
Even Gangplank has more wave clear. We've seen Victor versus Gangplank. That turret went down to what, 18 to 20 minutes?
Something like that.
Kuzan's just had free time, 13 minutes. It basically has Ezreal's mid turret down.
Well, Janair's got 1 kill and a dragon. They're already about 2,000 gold ahead.
I mean, most of that's Trace. 31
Yeah.
CS ahead. That's massive. Not Flame Horizon yet, but could extend there.
That and the first blood for Pilot.
And now he can start building for the team. He started off with the Spectre's Cow, got the lane assignment he wanted, and then later on, can just build into the Righteous Glory, and then he's team fight ready as well.
Yeah. Ixu returns to the mid lane. No, he doesn't. He's
Sound
returning to the jungle.
At least Ixu isn't doing the I'm way behind, so I'll build a Rod of Ages plan. That's always...
Hey, well, I mean, he bought a blasting wand, so you never know.
Surely it's going to be a Abyssal Scepter, but there is actually the outside potential of the
I think
solid
Abyssal's probably
22-minute Rod of Ages pickup.
Yeah, he's got the null magic mantle, so probably going Abyssal. Other than that, not a lot going on. I mean, I think Janair got the early game edge that they wanted to.
Iceborne Gauntlets picked up, so finally Ezra going to be able to push back and chip away at Kuzan. It's not going to be 1-to-1. It's still going to be the death rate instantly clearing the wave and a couple of Qs retired, but with the required, but with the cooldown reduction mechanic, going to be able to match. Not going to be the same immense pressure on the red side jungle for Janair than there was before.
Pretty much. Here comes Lyra. Can they make a play? Well, Trace gets locked by the W. Has to burn that flash to get out of it. Ooh. Wow, Mickey.
Turns out the armor and mana doesn't do so much against the death ray.
Apparently. Now, maybe we'll see a bit of a fight over the blue buff. Because Kuzan's certainly good, in a pretty good position to contest this.
Clearing and exiting lane. The Faker special on Victor. Every good Victor does it.
Yep. Oh, denied.
Afreeca opted into this. They went for this Ezreal answer to the Victor. Just keeping it competitive, but feels like his team is kind of losing around him, even as he just powers up that tier in the mid lane.
How good is it, do you think, to deny this recall for Ixu?
Look, again, you're just extending what has been a super punishing top lane matchup for Ixu. It's still 2 levels behind. How can you opt into team fights or anything when, you know, this Maokai is going to be so useful? He has the ultimate for team utility, and you're just fighting for every CS, struggling to get an Abyssal Scepter breach. When it's Mickey.
Here we go. Mickey nearly gets taken out. Very, very close call. If that safeguard hadn't come in from Lyra, I think that would have been a kill for Kuzan.
The Victors today have been running wild trying to get these solo kills in the mid lane.
Yeah, well, looks like they're going to settle for a kill on the turret this time. And Janair continues to pull ahead.
Janair have so many options. They've already had wards deep in the blue side jungle of Afreeca. The majority of this game, they can start pushing them in the red side. Well, it's easiest. Second dragon going to be incoming. First one uncontested.
Yeah, right.
Second one going to be uncontested.
Well, right away when that turret went down, Snowflower went up and put a ward by Dragon, so Afreeca freaks know what's up.
Back away for now.
Yeah, they do kind of make Janair nervous enough not to try it, I suppose.
No big item completions just yet. No sign of the Righteous Glory. Just going for the Merc Treads at the moment is Trace.
Ouch.
But the moment they opt into a Dragon fight, just doesn't feel like Mickey is strong enough for there to be a fight that Afreeca freaks win just yet.
Yeah, not yet. He's been stacking that tier for a while, but it's going to be a long time before he's able to turn that into a Merman or something.
Spent a lot of time talking about the previous series about power spikes, obviously, when it was the Corki Trinity Force. The big hope for Afreeca, their go button this game is going to be the Hurricane for the Callisto. When they finish Hurricane, it'll be 2 items for both ADs. There is a team fight they can win.
Oh, did they catch Snowflower? Snowflower trying to recall that brush. Flash pulverized. Here comes Winged. I don't know if this Thresh is getting out. No. And Snowflower just choosing a really dangerous place to recall and gets punished, and that's going to punish them even more as Jin uses the opportunity to take this dragon.
That's a recall you make when you have the pressure, not when you're way behind in map pressure. So honestly, just a rookie mistake from Snowflower.
Attempted dragon steal comes in from Mickey, but Jin not phased by that one at all. And yeah, just a small mistake by Snowflower, just a choice of where to recall, and it really costs Afreeca Freaks a lot.
You can get away with a long noose when you're way ahead, but when you're behind, when you just didn't have information about the wards, that's what happens.
I don't want to have any noose involved.
No
in my
nooses?
League of Legends plays. No thanks.
The enemies can hang themselves. You just try and avoid it for yourself.
That's grim.
That's what warding gives you, Doa. People make mistakes.
Yeah, I guess. They do indeed.
So
they
Ixu
get
has
those bloodthirsty kills.
Yeah, and Ixu's gone for the Abyssal Scepter, so maybe Mickey can do some more damage with his ult. Awkwardly, his team doesn't really have a lot of latent magic damage that he's going to help out with that aura.
Yep. Well, the days of AP Ezreal are long gone.
Rip Runglaive.
Thankfully. Oh, Rift Herald time. You know, I feel like we've seen Jin taking more Rift Heralds than a lot of other teams.
Some teams, again, like series on series, picks and bans change. Again, the patch is very early, so priorities are always different. And the Rift Herald has been the big differentiator. Some teams just aren't interested in that objective at all. And even the assignment of who gets it. We've seen so many junglers pick up the Rift Herald.
Uh-oh.
Trace has already had the pressure advantage, and now it's going to have some buffed up minions as well.
See, this makes more sense. You give it to a laner, right?
To me, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
It says a lot about the buff that the 10% movement speed is more important than the minion effect that, of course, the buff is largely expected to be for.
Wow, look at this, getting aggressive onto Che, but Lyra has to get right back out again. I mean, you can tell Afreeca just really wants to make a play here, but Jin is just not giving them any opportunities.
Well, it definitely tells you how it's going. Where taking a second Q against an Alistar seems like a good idea, but they just had no opportunity to make plays in the first 20 minutes. Controlled game from Jin. It's a return to the old Jin because Trace, no Quinn this time, no Ignite top, back to Maokai duty.
Yep, very measured. Jin going back to their kind of habit of having some of the longest games in Champions. Will they be in there?
But the worry is, did they go back to their habit of not knowing how to finish games?
Yeah.
Because when you have 4 or 5 damage dealers, okay, you can just win a fight through sheer outplays. When you have these positioning-based, timing-based comps, that's easy to pull that up.
Very true. Man, only 1 kill every 10 minutes this game.
Monty is approving.
Oh,
Sorry,
hurts
Doa.
me bad.
And you were complaining about the pace of the last game. This is the new norm, Doa.
Please no.
It's only week 2.
Please, no.
There's going to be a few more of these games.
And then everyone gets aggressive, right?
I mean, I'm waiting on the patch notes. I'll let you know.
All right. I'll read them too. 3 turrets already for Jin. A huge lead. Up to 5K gold in 20 minutes. And I mean, what is there really to say? I mean, Jin is just doing a great job of putting all the right amounts of pressure on, all the right amounts of, or all the right places on the map. Taking this blue buff away. Can Ixu take it? Looks like he got it.
Ixu got it.
Oh, Ixu got it, did he?
I believe this is the
I think
time
so.
in the broadcast where you talk about vintage video games or old shows or Street Sharks.
Yeah.
There's not really much else to say. Afreeca, they have playmaking champs, but they're so far behind on map play that there's not much they can do. They're trying to force some mid lane damage.
They may pay for this. So teleport coming in for Trace. Gonna get the back line. Snowflower in trouble
Oh!
already. Dropped the box, but that's a culling. Whoa, the damage from Kuzan and Pilot just destroys the Afreeca Freaks.
That damage from Kuzan was immense.
Yeah, man. I mean, and Pilot hit the culling right at the same time. It was only 1 kill, but it was more than enough. Whoa, gotta be careful there. More than enough to push the Freaks back. And that may cost them a tier 2 turret here. Wing wants to come from the side. Looks like they'll be content with the turret.
They have such a strong front line. Multiple people here can tank
Yes, they
turret
do.
shots. Easy peasy. Take down the turret. False sense of security for Afreeca. They thought, okay, this game's fairly even. Let's go for something. Instantly punished. Instantly lose their inner mid turret. You thought they didn't have much map control before? With both their middle lane turrets down, every single objective on this map is easy peasy to pick up for
Yeah.
Jin Air.
And I mean, now we're looking at a 6,000 gold deficit for the Afreeca Freaks as we go into this replay.
And that's the thing about Maokai. It doesn't matter if you flash away, you are going to get rooted in place. And the explosion from Kuzan.
That is disgusting.
Yep, that's Victor.
That's a great slogan there. That's disgusting. That's Victor.
Sounds very close to victory. And honestly, Jin Air, pretty close to victory themselves.
Wow, they're close to like a flawless victory here, man. I mean, no
Oh,
turrets,
it's true.
no kills,
Perfect
no
game,
dragons.
potentially.
They could do it. I think if they survive another, 10 minutes of this, they might be able to close it out.
Immortals in
pretty
the
cleanly.
NALCS have denied Jin Air the hope of the fastest perfect game. Of course, perfect game in 18 minutes, hard to beat.
Wow, that is
That was something.
legitimately insane. And here they come. They're just gonna walk over the map now.
Goodbye,
All over Snowflower.
Afreeca.
Songyun, man, the CC. What a huge culling from Pilot. Picks up a kill there. Lyra in a bit of trouble against Kuzan, who's gonna grab one, and there is just nothing that the Afreeca Freaks can do. 22 minutes. Yeah, why not do Baron, man? I mean, why not?
The amusing thing is they don't
Who's
even have
stopping
vision
them?
around this area, but with 3 kills down, no way for Ezreal to rotate.
Well, Ezreal just used True Shot Barrage as well, so there is nothing at all that the Freaks can do.
They can try and stop the perfect game. They have a single turret. All right, perfect game cancelled.
Oh, sadness.
Sadness.
Oh well. I suppose I'll trade that. If I were them, I would trade a perfect game for a Baron, some kills, and Mickey's going to activate Dragon, but I don't think you're going to get a chance to do that with Buddy.
I don't know about the blue Ezreal mid against Victor. Just
Yeah.
with the Zed off the board, it felt like he wasn't confident to play an Ari, for example, that has
Well-
that balanced wave clear and some assassination potential. Mickey needs to take over these games, Doa.
He does. I mean, they need him to be the star, and you were talking about the fact that the LeBlanc pick was available. They didn't go for that. Afreeca really picked themselves into this.
To be fair, though, the LeBlanc pick has been the option that he's tried twice in a row. Both games lost. Both games played fine, but not been able to get that edge. Maybe they need to start banning Victor. That's that's unfortunate. There has
Maybe.
been some Victor bans, but
Maybe.
if enemy teams are banning 3 mid laners against your mid lane, give him a chance. Take away the safe blind pick that KT have used, that multiple teams have used. Get the Victor off the board, because it's pretty clear right now that Mickey doesn't have the pocket pick to annihilate a Victor in lane.
Yeah. Trying to support that mid lane, but meanwhile, Trace pushing down the top lane with those Baron-empowered minions. Ixu's got the wave clear, but you really can't get close enough to kill the cannon minion this time.
It doesn't have the wave clear to deal with Baron buff minions, though, of course.
Yep.
So much more difficult. So just lose slowly the health on that turret.
Yep, maybe not so slow. Yeah, that turret's not going down slow at all. Jin Air just steamrolling their way across the map right now.
This is no counterplay. 10,000 gold, 9,000, I guess.
Well, you called it. I mean, you said whichever team got ahead was going to be able to snowball this pretty easily, and that's exactly what we're seeing.
When you share win conditions, it's a bit like blind pick, where if you have the same champions, once you get an advantage, it's so hard to come back, just because there's really little options for Afreeca. Lyra never got that big pick that we saw Flawless, for example, getting on the Lee Sin yesterday. He's just been watching on. He's died once, but really not been involved this game.
He was trying.
Afreeca's, in general, watched Jin Air win this game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And I mean, if game 1 goes like this, you have to wonder what the mental state of Afreeca Freaks is going to be in game number 2. Mickey just trying to damage some of the minions, but they've still got the Baron buff, so even that Ezreal ult doesn't stop you too much.
Makes you wonder how important Hachani was to some of the decision-making and drafting of Afreeca.
I wonder. And the thing is we've actually seen Hachani perform very well now that he's back on KT, so.
I mean, very is a strong word. He definitely had some Hachani moments yesterday.
Yeah, I suppose yesterday wasn't the best example, but up until yesterday, he was looking surprisingly good. We weren't expecting Hachani to make a big difference. So like, all right, we were like, they're going to play Hachani a little bit and then go back to Ignar, but Hachani's been playing okay.
And if we're going to give Ambition share of the credit for the improvement in Samsung, I think we have to give Hachani share of the improvement in multiple ways for KT. Really looking solid, apart from their loss yesterday.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to see how Ignar is going to look, but
We'll be waiting a while. Maybe it'll be Peekaboo-esque. Maybe it'll be second half of the season for Ignar.
Hachani was very much the summer 2014 Hachani yesterday, but that Hachani also won a Season of Champions.
That's true.
So it's hard to really tell what's worse.
It's a push and shove when it comes to Hachani.
It is.
Maybe it's just a mathematical equation of how many Hachani moments he has. At 2.
Can you rate a team's performance in Hachanis?
You know, I think you could.
I think maybe we can. It's been a long time since Long Panda's been a part of the league,
It's
so
true.
can we say I would give that I would say I would give this performance approximately. Well, how do we rate it? Are more
Here's what I'll say.
Hachanis good or less?
Here's what I'll say. I don't think there deserves to be a Hachani award for underperforming player just yet. Because Hachani largely has been good, but let's see if Hachani continues his downward trajectory from yesterday's series.
If we consider one Hachani the equivalent of a face check, so we can say the equivalent of like a mistaken play. You know, I don't even know if we can give Afreeca Freaks that many Hachanis this game because they really haven't made too many mistakes. They've
I
just
like to conceptualize it in OQ moments, because of course OQ's left the league now. We don't have any OQ moments. Why can't we have Hachani moments?
Well, I think Hachani moments are just more fun. They're more relevant right now.
Absolutely.
Hachani, so hot right now.
Hachani, more relevant than OQ.
Yeah.
Come back, OQ.
Please. Come back, GBM. People keep taking our players, man.
They took our players.
Why do they have to go and offer them money?
They should do it for the love, though.
I know. Don't they have enough passion to stay in Korea? So disappointing.
One day the Rocks Tigers will get a sponsor.
Yeah. Surviving on pure passion. And a lot of money from Worlds last year, I suppose.
And Afreeca's surviving on the whims of Janair, as far as I can tell.
With their 6 streaming deals. They're actually, I mean, we've said it many times before, really popular streamers here, so probably doing okay.
Just looking for Janair to find that killer push. Remember, Janair was in this position at least a half dozen times last season and then lost the game. They've lost the game with multiple 5 dragon stacks. They've got everything riding on them, but can they please press the Righteous Glory button and dive? That's what they need to do at some point. Scary against a blue Ezreal, scary in general, but they are so far ahead. And look, it was the late rod. That is the latest Rod of Ages ever.
Yeah, that's a 28-minute Rod of Ages, guys.
He's got a few stacks. It's probably more like a 24-minute Rod of Ages.
I didn't see it right when he got it, but either way, it's going to take a little while.
What if Janair, returned to their old infamy, let's say, at being able to not be able to close out games? Maybe it's not the worst decision.
Well, I mean, Janair last year was the old rob from the rich and give to the poor team, right? They would beat the good teams and then lose to the bad teams.
Well, they picked up one win over one of the lower competition earlier this week, so their Robin Hood image was slightly thrown off, but yes.
Yeah, well, they beat SK Telecom, too, so I think they've shed that image so far this season anyway. Janair's just going to walk up and take the red buff. Thank you very much. And it's Dragon time. Why not take that, too? We're very much in a Season 5 game this time, aren't we?
It is sad that a lot of games have returned to get the 5th Dragon stack. We started the season being like, well, Dragon's kind of irrelevant. Get that 1st stack, everything else, whatever. But a lot of games, specifically KT Rolster games, have been about outscale and 5th Dragon. And Janair, honestly, with KT, given how good their record is, following that, not quite having the top lane carry, but focusing on that 5th Dragon win condition, and Victor clearing waves is one thing that really guarantees objective control because your lanes are always pushed up.
Oh, yeah. Tons of fun.
Yes, lots of fun. Kill every 5 minutes, push up all the waves, don't want to dive anything, so wait for Dragon and Baron.
We've got double the kills of the last game, I suppose. That was a kill every 10 minutes, so we're doing a little bit better.
It's a sliding scale, depressing nonetheless.
So is there a point? Well, never mind. Oh, it's time for a fight. Trace comes in from the flank. They're going to bring Ixu down with the TP, and both teams decide to break off that attack. Janair not liking what they see, but they were able to get some cooldowns out of the way, so they may just pressure Baron here.
Big 5-minute cooldown that guaranteed Maokai in the backline is down, though.
Yeah.
Now how do they force that fight? Because Maokai, much harder to find that fight or find the engage in a long lane.
I suppose. I mean, they've still got all their summoners. Maokai's got his ult back, so they really didn't use anything. They just caused Ixu to have to use his teleport.
Sure, but it's flank or bust. Maokai's not going to run up and W Ezreal. Alice is not going to run up and combo. In a long lane, they have no engage, so the teleport was so important in them getting a pick.
I suppose.
Teleport is up, though.
The Baron dance will probably last until the next dragon.
It could do.
It'll be a dragon fight.
Get comfortable, though. Could be here a while.
I can see that. Janair saying hi. They're just keeping that mid lane cleared and then putting more pressure back on Baron, and it really forces the Afreeca Freaks to react. I think it's time for not Baron. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say exactly that. It's time for not Baron.
Very nice sentence there, Doa.
Got it. Now it's time for Baron.
Ah, the not Baron.
Maybe not Baron. No, it's not Baron time. Now it's time for Trace to get into the fight. Time for Snowflare to get caught. Great CC, great knockups from Che as he brings that Alistar to the back. And Trace all over Mickey and Songyun, taking some damage, but it's let the rest of Jin Air catch up to everybody else. And that's an easy team fight win. That is near a perfect ace. Only Lyra escapes. Nobody on Jin Air going down. And this may be it right here. The death timers are already at about 50 seconds.
The difference between these two teams is in the front line, Doa. The front line, the Maokai is immortal. The front line, the Lissandra, the Thresh, very, very squishy, behind in gold.
Yep.
And Pilot just free hits. They don't even have to worry about killing the damage dealers when everyone dies instantly on the side of Afreeca.
Yeah. Wow, well, Afreeca Freaks, what can you say? Kind of were behind all game long and then just sort of rolled over and died in a team fight. And that is all it takes for Jin Air to take a very convincing game number 1. And looks like we may be on our way to a fast 2-0, guys. GG.
Jin Air decisive.